Hi, it's Nicole, and today I'm going to share two cards that I made with the Study Nook die set. This is the May stitch die of the month. I knew as soon as I saw it that I was going to be okay. Sometimes I get a new die set and I feel like I kind of struggle with like a design or a technique or something to go with. Anything that I can build a scene with, I am a happy camper, even though it's a chair. If you are a long-time viewer with my scrapbooking layouts, there was a series that I did in which I struggled to use a lot of the chair icons. So this one just kind of made me giggle because I absolutely loved this. To get started, I did go ahead and die cut the pieces for the chair, and I went ahead and stitched them. And basically, while I was stitching this, I was kind of brainstorming some different ideas. So I'm actually going to pivot after I assemble my little chair and switch to a different card. But I did want to share that this was kind of the largest sort of stitching element as far as the set goes, and it was super easy to stitch. Sometimes I have to go kind of look up the images online and the sneak peeks and stuff with the stitching dies because sometimes they don't make sense to me in my home when I've cut them. So sometimes I need a little bit of assistance. This chair, super simple. You can see over on the right, I just started die cutting a bunch of stuff, kind of testing some different color choices. I knew that I wanted to do this card right here. I've been itching to do this sort of style design for a while, and I think the fact that a lot of the dies in this set were on the smaller side made this so easy and so fun to put together. I did start with the A Little Message Better Press and die set. I didn't use the die, I just pressed it directly into sort of the top center area of my card base. And then from there, I'm just going to have fun sort of loading the front of this card panel with a bunch of these like icons and images from the die cut set. I cut out 3 kitties, all in gray. I did 3 plants and then a bunch of like rainbow kind of colorways for the books. And what I did was I cut out a lot of the book pieces and didn't put them together until I was working on the card. This just kind of allows me to pick colors a little bit better. So like here you can see I've pulled out, this is a swatch sheet that I created. I did share it in the Spellbinders fan group. I will post a link below in the description box where you can find it. Basically, I like to be able to see all of my cardstock choices like in one sheet instead of like the swatch ring style. I like being able to see everything like that. I had made that for the Pink Fresh ink cubes, and so now anytime I need to swatch, I just kind of recreate that document that I made and reuse it. So to get started, I am going to arrange my 3 kitties first and just kind of use them to start like a little bit of a visual triangle. And then I'm going to fill in with my little plants, basically starting with the largest pieces first because those books are pretty small, so I know that I can fill, you know, the spaces with the books pretty easily. And I'm just going to kind of start on one side and start finding places to kind of tuck them in. Here you can see I have skipped forward a little bit. It's just a lot of stopping to go die cut, you know, one layer of a book, assembling the book as I was kind of picking colors. I didn't want anybody to have to sit through that. But I do try to die cut a lot ahead of time. And then when I'm in the process of putting things together, if I change my mind about a color or I need to, you know, add an additional element here or there, I just kind of quickly die cut another piece. And then at this point, I felt like I wanted to fill in more of those open spaces. So I'm going to grab, these are a matte style enamel dot, and I'm just going to use a bunch of white ones to fill in this space. These are really, really old. In fact, when I set the card to the side, to work on my second card, they started popping off. Like I could hear them hitting my desk. So before I took my photos of the cards, I did go and just use some liquid adhesive to glue those down really well. For my second card, I'm going to grab the alabaster cardstock, and then this is the embossing folder that was in the Yana's Daisies collection. Basically, I just wanted something kind of simple, and I don't know, like I wanted to build like a little kind of a room scene, and so I just wanted something subtle that would not necessarily mimic like walls and floor, but I just wanted something simple, and this kind of just fit the bill for me. I did use a sentiment from the Must Have Sentiments, which is a hot foil set. The last time I used it, I cut the extras, put them in a little Ziploc baggie, and they're coming in handy for stuff like this when I just need a quick sentiment. So I picked the one that said thinking of you, and then I'm gonna slowly start building my scene. I went ahead and picked out some colors to do this little lampshade. I wasn't really sure what colors I was going with this, so this one I would say went together just a little bit slower just because I couldn't quite make choices. This little kitty cat, I had already cut him from a brown, so I went ahead and used him. I think that the cat is so cute, and you could easily take like pencils or like Copic markers and add like stripes to kind of look more like my cat has more of that like stripey look to her. She's very furry, but I don't know, this cat was just so cute. And I will say, I did not realize until after I filmed everything, and I realized that there was a die that I hadn't cut anything from, and it took me a minute to be like, you know, what is this? Like, what is it? It was the cat's collar and tag. So I did off camera cut a collar and a tag for the cat on this card. I did not add it to the first card. I just felt like it didn't need it, and I liked just kind of the plain gray cat for that one. So here I've got kind of like my major elements: the chair, the lamp, the plant, cat, sentiment. I wanted to sort of have this like messy sort of floor filled with books. Ultimately, I did make it a little bit less messy and basically just started stacking them. Here you can see I've got a bunch of different books that I had cut from scraps of cardstock, a bunch of different choices. I ended up doing all of them with like cream color pages, and then just did like fun colors for the covers of the books. And I, instead of using the different book styles, I kept with this one that had like the curved spine, and just kind of filled it in. And then once I got like those three kind of stacked up, I decided that I wanted to have a couple that were vertical. I just felt like that was a fun kind of way to fill in that gap between the sentiment and the stack of books. And I just kind of have one facing down and one facing up. And I kept this one pretty simple, didn't come in with any enamel dots or gems, and that is pretty much it for both of my cards. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and as a reminder, all the clubs are live. There's all kinds of videos on Spellbinders YouTube channel, the website, showing off the different clubs for this month. And I will leave you with some more inspiration here. And if you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to come over and see some more stuff on my channel. And I will catch you guys later.